guys, good morning and welcome to this next iced coffee date. So today I have a few different things to talk about. One, I was up bright and early at 6 o'clock listening to a dog puke off the side of my bed. Right? It's like the worst way to wake up. I was like, what is happening? What are those noises? And Murphy was kind enough to puke off the bed. I guess that was nice. I mean, he did get a little bit on the sheets and most of it on the floor, but I mean, at least he was considerate. He didn't like puke in the bed or like near me or on me. It's always something, right? And then of course he was totally fine. Like he had breakfast, he's acting totally normal. So I don't know what happened last night, but just had a little uneasy belly or something like that. And then the other exciting news in the Hopper world is the tooth fairy came last night. Quinn lost his other front tooth. So the other one has grown in halfway and now he has like a big hole there. That was very, very exciting. And he came down this morning with a dollar bill and was very, very proud of himself. He was just like so excited. Put it right in his piggy bank. So of course, you know, the mentorship is open. You know, that's what I'm talking about this week, trying to enroll some more ladies in the group. We already have a great group going here. We officially start on Monday. But yeah, just want to get a few more ladies in. So wanted to share a little bit more about what's happening as far as it goes. I just shared a post in my feed, which was actually inspired by a conversation that I had with a one-on-one client who was, you know, doing everything that she needed to do as far as her workouts and her nutrition and everything. But she was kind of like making herself crazy a little bit. And we had talked about hormonal imbalance and anxiety and things like that. She definitely had like a few things going on there. But we talked about how, you know, she was like yelling at her kids. She had like no patience for her husband. She was not sleeping. She just felt like her brain was running all the time. And she did have a lot of like PMS-y symptoms as far as like heavy periods, mood swings, low energy, stuff like that. But, you know, on the flip side, she was doing all the things that she needed to do. And really when we started to like take things apart and really look at things, she realized like it wasn't the nutrition, it wasn't the workouts, it really was like the big picture. And she did loosen the reins on the tracking, she loosened the reins on the workouts. She was definitely over exercising. We got her Dutch back and her cortisol was through the roof. She said she wasn't sleeping. She had some other low markers as far as like melatonin and things like that. But all this to say, sometimes it's not the nutrition. Sometimes it's not the workouts. Those things definitely contribute. But you know, with like the mentorship or one-on-one coaching, we are looking at the big picture. And this is really why I got into the hormonal testing, the functional testing, because I would have these women that were, you know, quote unquote, hitting their macros, crushing their workouts, doing everything that they thought they needed to do, but just not getting the results that they wanted. And a lot of what they were doing was kind of bleeding into other areas of their life and like not really being a positive effect. And so when we had, you know, when I had her slow down and really look what was going on, she was like, yeah, you know, I really need to make some changes. And she did, and exercising less, you know, eating a little bit more, being a little bit more loose with her macros, she did start to see results. And she said almost immediately she felt like the inflammation and the bloating and the puffiness like went away. And it was just that, it was just slowing down and not expecting so much from her body. So anyways, just wanted to tell you this little story because it really is a holistic approach to what's going on. And with the mentorship, we are really looking at different areas of your life and lifestyle and what's going on. And if you listened to my interview with Rebecca yesterday, she is a former member of the mentorship. She's also in our lifestyle group. She's wonderful and amazing, but something that she said yesterday that I thought was such a great point, and why she liked the mentorship so much was that everything was in one place. And she even said this, she was like, sure, you can find this information on Instagram, on Pinterest, you can Google it, you can figure out how to calculate your macros, how to plan your nutrition, get a bunch of workouts, you can do this all yourself. But she said it was great because everything was in one place. And then also she had to work with me and the other women in the mentorship, but we really do cover metabolism, nutritional periodization, macros, hormones, cycle syncing will be in there, and then we bring it all together to create this really personalized plan. And the thing with this like year-long plan, I think it seems like really overwhelming for a lot of people because it's a year, you know what I mean? That's a long time to devote to something. But that's the thing, it doesn't need to be complicated. It actually can be really simple, and I think that's exactly what we do. We take like the whole mystery out of how to diet. And that's the thing. What's that quote? It's by Benjamin Franklin. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Like that whole idea. If you don't have a plan, like you have nowhere to go. And I think this is why so many women fail, is that they're like, oh, I'm just gonna go on a diet. But they don't really think about what goes into that. They don't consider where they are currently as far as like how much they are eating, what their lifestyle is like, and they just jump into it. And maybe they have success for a few weeks, but they can't be consistent because they don't have that plan. And you're kind of just like walking aimlessly in the dark. You don't really know what you're doing. You don't really know what to expect. So having a plan is so important to figure out, when you are dieting, when you are reversing, when you're in maintenance, when you are, cutting or bulking or whatever it is. But having that plan and knowing how long that phase of your nutrition will be, I think it just sets it up really well as far as expectations go, as far as what you need to do or not do, expectations as far as how your body might respond in that amount of time. And it really does take the stress out of quote unquote dieting. I think it's also really helpful because you have clarity on what you are doing. And I think the more clear you are on a plan, the more you're likely to adhere to it because you understand why you are doing things, you believe in what you are doing, so then you're that much more consistent. And then of course, with the mentorship 12 weeks, you have a support system to really implement this and get it going and start moving towards your goals. And I mean, by the time you're done, you have a whole plan for the year. And of course, things can change. I mean, Rebecca actually talked about it, how she had planned to do a cut and then it was summer and she was like, I don't know if I really want to do this right now. I just kind of want to enjoy my summer. She adjusted things and now she's going to do her cut in January, which I think makes perfect sense. Enjoy your summer, enjoy your holidays, and then in January, yes, get on it as far as getting into a cut, doing your meal prep, drinking your water, sleeping, protein, all the things that you need to do to have a successful cut. And that's it. She is setting herself up for success. Like she is probably going to have a great cut when it comes to January. But having this all planned out ahead of time, and then of course knowing how to adjust if something comes up, I think that is really important. And then also in there, you'll learn how to calculate macros and then how to adjust them if you were to change your mind on what you were doing for each phase. And of course, we'll go over reverse dieting in detail, bulking in detail, maintenance, cutting. We'll go into detail, tell you exactly how to do it, what you're supposed to do, which is really important. And then also, as far as like the macro stuff, it really is just data for you, and I think it's helpful in the sense that it helps you figure out what you're doing, not doing, periodizing your nutrition. But I was having a conversation just the other day with a past client, and she said, she was like, once you learn how to do this, like you have control. It's so empowering. Like you could do this forever. And she said it's one of those things that's like a little scary in the beginning, but she was like, once you do it, or she said, if you don't do it, you'll never know if you can do it. So you actually have to like go through this process and figure it out on your own. Obviously I will guide you there, but then once you calculate those macros, obviously I can look over them, we can see how it goes, but really like the ball is in your court as far as figuring out what's working for you, adjusting them as needed, and really helping you get to your goals. So I just thought it was really insightful of her to say that, because she's like, yeah, I could have had you do this for me forever. But she was like, now that I know, she actually did the mentorship too. She was a client, did the mentorship. She's great. But anyways, she just learned how to do it on her own, and she just felt so good about doing it. So I think it's just having that plan, knowing how long to diet, how hard to diet, how to reverse diet, how much time to give yourself there. It just gives you like a really solid plan so you can be confident in what you are doing. And that's really what it is at the end of the day. So I think of us, a lot of us are like, we'll go on like a 30-day thing, or we'll try this thing for a little bit, but we're not getting amazing results overnight, so we quit. So I think just having that plan, having those expectations laid out, and really believing in what you're doing and understanding why you're doing it, just gets you the best results. And like I said, there's so many women who have gone through this mentorship that have gone through different phases, and they've had much more success planning it out ahead of time and giving their metabolism and their body time to adjust to these different phases. So when they get to a cut, the cut's the best part. It's the most fun in the sense that you're seeing results. It's probably the hardest because you have to be consistent and on top of your nutrition, but it's like the most exciting part of this whole thing. But they've had just great success because they have done all the things they need to do to get to that point that their body will actually respond. Because the mistake that women make again and again is that they just keep cutting calories, keep adding cardio, and sure, that probably worked at some point in your life, but like women are coming to me eating like 1,300 calories, 1,400 calories, and then doing Peloton and Orange Theory like almost every day or every other day, and they're like, I can't lose weight. And I'm like, no kidding. Like, your body is so stressed out. It is not going to lose any weight. It's probably going to gain weight because you are starving it and you're over exercising. So I think this whole mentorship really kind of like lays things out with you. I do give you a little tough love if you need it. Of course, you guys know I'm like the nicest person, but I will let you know if you need to look at things a little bit differently. And I think that's really important, because if you're doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results, like spinning your wheels, you're just not going to get to your goals. So I think having a coach is really helpful for that. I can relate personally. And then just having an amazing group of women to support you. Okay, I have rambled on. I hope you guys found this little pep talk insight to be helpful. I just feel like personally, I can relate to a lot to what I said. I've just experienced it on my own, and then I've worked with hundreds of women who have very similar approaches to nutrition and exercise and things like that, and it works till it doesn't work, and then if it's not working, you just need to have a different approach. And I think being in your like mid to late 30s, 40s, into your 50s, there's so many things changing hormonally, and like you do need to take a different approach, because when you were in your 20s, you had tons of hormones, everything was great, like you had so much wiggle room as far as what you were doing. But as hormones are changing, postpartum, just getting into perimenopause, menopause, like if you're not changing with those hormones, you're just not going to get the best results. Like you're gonna get the belly fat, you're gonna get the, hip, like butt fat, you know what I mean? Like where all that excess fat like accumulates. And a lot of it is hormonal. A lot of it's stress related too, but of course that's stuff we will go over in the mentorship. All right, I've rambled on. I just wanted to share all this with you. I just thought maybe some of you could relate a lot. I feel like I have a lot of similar conversations with women about a lot of these things, so I just wanted to share. I don't know, somebody's coming out of the living room. I hear the dog. I heard always something. All right, guys, have a great day. I'll see you later.